Harry, who's heard of the gold disc that went out with Voyager? Okay, can you tell Harry, tell people your background in journalism? What have you been doing? Why are you one of the innovative leaders in your space?
That's very kind. I'm a writer who's been writing about 40 years on popular culture, primarily about hip hop, however. And some know me as a member or associate of the iconic band Public Enemy, and it's been with, thank you, it's been with those guys and others that I've been kind of building my worldview around hip-hop culture.
Yeah, and what year are we on hip-hop? Is it 1,000 years old, 500 years old, or 50 years old?
It's a great question. Most people count the innovations of Kool Herc in 1973 as the beginnings of the culture. Kool Herc, the DJ.
Yep.
But when you really look at any musical form, it always has deep roots that often go back decades, if not centuries. And I think that it's important to think about hip-hop in those terms.
Yep. And you're an accomplished writer. What are some places that people may have seen your work?
The Village Voice, when it was being published, Billboard, the Daily News. I wrote a lot for Vibe and The Source, places like that. Most of the places that you saw hip-hop cover, I was often writing there. I've done a lot of television, commentary, that kind of thing.
And so now you're in the MEC department or Aero-Astro department?
I'm assigned to MEC. My host is Brian Wardle, who is based in Aero-Astro with an appointment in MEC as well. That's where I'm hosted.
And is it fair to say that in the history of your writing, and you've written thousands of articles, you probably never wrote about Aero-Astro or MEC?
Always had a deep interest in these things. I don't think I ever got an assignment that I can recall to write about these concerns.
But now you're leading a very innovative effort that connects music, hip-hop, with exploring the universe. Am I right?
Well, I've always had that interest. I've always had an interest in the universe. In fact, my interest in the universe precedes my work in or interest in hip-hop.
Yep.
And inspired by the golden record that you mentioned at the outset.
So the golden record was in Voyager and left our solar system, and on the golden record was information.
It was
and it was in binary, or it was...
Well, no, it was a standard LP of the kind that you used to buy in what used to be called record stores.
Yeah.
But this one was
gold.
on copper with gold plating for longevity.
Yeah.
And it was a collection of all kinds of messaging, but very notably music that the curators had put together. And those curators were Carl Sagan, John Lomberg, and Ann Drian, who was Carl Sagan's wife. And
how much hip-hop was on that record?
Absolutely zero.
Yeah, but you're doing something about that.
Well, hip-hop was a nascent form at that time. This was in 1977, this was put together.
Yeah.
And Kool Herc had done what he did only 4 years before. So unless Carl Sagan was hanging out in the South Bronx, he probably wouldn't have been aware of it.
Yep. So your vision is we need a gold record with hip-hop that could travel the world, travel the galaxy as a way to populate ET with the best music.
That's the way some would say. What I say is that we're not doing a golden record. That was a certain form that that project took. But I'm here at MIT, first of all, to figure out what is a good material with which to record analog sound that will last at least 1 billion years. And that is to do a similar kind of project, to launch this craft into space where it will be relatively unbothered.
Yep. And are you recording all the hip hop yourself? And so it's a self-published gold record?
Not at all. The goal is
to... Are you curating it, or are you bringing in thought leaders?
I'm acting as curator, but my goal is to really democratize the project in this way, to have fans of hip-hop music, by a process which we'll develop, to submit their votes, and then to have that looked at and developed further by a set of experts, archivists, musical experts, artists, hip-hop artists, fans, journalists, aficionados of all kind in order to bring it to you might say, a level of curatorial excellence.
And is this the record that went out in 77?
That's the record on the right, and that's the cover of the record. Very interestingly, that cover was used as if you will, a legend, a map legend, you might say, or a map itself, to help any people or aliens or whatever is out in space, if they find it, to detect how to play the record, what's on it, where it came from, when it was launched. The instructions, you might say, yeah, the data.
Yep. And how much music is it going to be? Like one Public Enemy record? Like, is it like 10 songs? Like, how much are you going to put on this record? I mean, an MP3, you can put a lot on there these days.
The goal is definitely not to put the entire history of hip-hop music and culture on one platform, but the goal is to, at present, create a list of, I guess you might say a playlist of 50 to 100 recordings. My goal is to do this in 2029, which will be the 50th anniversary of the first hip-hop record, Rapper's Delight. Yeah. And so we're going for 50 to 100 recordings that, I guess you might say, represent the essence of hip-hop culture. Not necessarily the best-selling or the most popular, and maybe in some cases the best-selling and the most popular. But the goal is for this wide group of people and fans to pick the recordings that best represent the culture.
So when you give a high five to someone in the hip-hop industry, say, hey, good to see you, what do they usually say to you next? You know, how's the space record going? Or, you know, people who know what you're working on. What kind of conversations are they having? Is this a topic that they like to dig into?
It's one I hope that they will. At present, it's really just under development here at MIT.
You should give a TEDxMIT talk so we can let the world know about this. What do you think?
I think that sounds like a great idea. Yeah.
So you guys, this is a trailer to what's going to happen on Monday. We're gonna record it in studio as a hip hop band would do. So you're not gonna get the live performance. But who's interested in seeing this video? So we're gonna get this to you. And Harry Allen is, he's going to be your favorite Harry and your favorite Allen. Harry, really thrilled to be supporting you on this journey.
Thank you.